Hey everyone, Jing Yuan is coming out in a couple of days, and the big question is, will you win the 50-50? No, I doubt it for me, but hopefully for you. But seriously, the question is, will Jing Yuan be good without his weapon? Now his weapon is pretty strong and is very straightforward, and the conditions to be met aren't that bad compared to his other options that he have. His weapon basically gives him 36% crit damage. When you do a skill or ultimate, it gains 18% damage. After they do a skill or ultimate, they will gain Somnus Corpus and the Lightning Lord will deal 48% more damage. Now this weapon is just perfect for him, I mean it's made for him, but if you come from Genshin Impact like me, and let's take Hu Tao for example, you know that Hoyoverse usually balances their best in slot weapon for their 5 stars, usually 10 to 20%. Now with the right investment you could close the gap, but it's not always that close to their best in slot. So like with Hu Tao, she has Staff of Homer, which is just a cracked out weapon, but then there's also Dragon's Bane. And with the right investment with Hu Tao, you could actually do as much damage if you meet the conditions. And that's where you have to play around with these other weapons. Now the second best weapon, in my opinion, that I think will be perfect for him is this weapon. I think that's Herta's weapon. It's called the Birth of the Self. Basically, it increases Lightning Lord's damage at R1 by 24%. And if you meet the condition of having the enemy or enemies at 50% or below, it increases it by another 24%. Now if you have this thing at R5, with the perfect condition, it will be dealing 96% more damage. Now we're kinda early on in the game and we don't have the perfect artifacts, relics. So our crit rate and crit damage is just all over the place. So for a while, I think that this weapon will work really good on him. And if you invest a lot in him, you could close the gap by a lot. Now his next weapon that some of you have by pulling in the standard banner is Himiko's weapon, Knight of the Milky Way. The conditions you have to meet for this weapon is what makes it lose a lot of points. Basically, for every enemy on the field, you will get 9% up to 5 stacks. So if you have 5 enemies, 45% attack. If you have 1 enemy, 9% attack. When an enemy is inflicted with Weakness Break, the damage dealt by the wearer increases by 30% for 1 turn, which is kinda good, but then again, you have to Weakness Break. So the condition is kinda weird with this weapon, and personally, if I had this 4-star weapon and I had this 5-star weapon, I wouldn't use it. But again, we're early on in the game, so just use what you have, because the stats when you level up this thing will be a little more higher than this one. Now the next weapon you could use is Pom Pom's weapon. Wait, he's not a character to play with. But anyway, the Seriousness of Breakfast. Increase the wearer's damage by 12%. For every defeated enemy, the wearer's attack is increased by 4%, stacking up to 3 times. So it's like a kind of opposite to Himiko's weapon, and obviously the stats are a lot less, and it could be used. I don't really see a big problem with it once you could fulfill the conditions. So if you're up against some enemies that has a lot of odds or some mobs before the main boss, you could take advantage of the attack boost from this. The next weapon is Genius's Repose. Increase the wearer's attack by 16%. When you defeat an enemy, the wearer's crit damage is increased by 24% for 3 turns. Again, it's another good weapon, maybe not on par with the others that I listed before, but again, it could be used. So now this next one, I'm not really sure about it. Now with Jing Yuan, his entire kit, you have to focus around the Lightning Lord, his follow-up attack. But since we're so early in the game and his ult looks so damn badass, this weapon could enable him to have a nuke in the beginning of a round, because it will regenerate 20 energy upon entering the battle, and it increases the ultimate by 32%. Now you have to understand that this is only once you enter a battle, and after that it will drop off. I'm not sure if this ultimate damage is for the entire battle. If it is, then you could kind of use him like a nuke. If it's not, then it kind of sucks. And now if you don't have any 5 stars or any 4 stars, there's the 3 stars, which I won't really recommend, but you have to use what you have to use. This one increases the ultimate by 28%, at R5 by 56%. Again, he's not really a ultimate focus damage dealing character, more of a follow-up AoE damage dealing character. The passkey, after the wearer uses a skill, it regenerates 8 energy. This effect can only be triggered once per turn. And the last 3-star, whenever you use the ultimate, it will increase the attack by 24% for 2 turns. We're kinda early with building, so attack damage is what we are mostly dealing to the enemies right now. The big numbers are the crits, and we kind of crit fishing. So if you're early on in the game and you have these, just use what you have. Now, I left out one 4-star weapon that I just don't think is so good. After entering battle, it increases the wearer's damage on their max energy. At R1, it's not that good, maybe at R5. But then again, seeing how it's worded, this might just be for one turn. So it will drop off really bad. But yeah. Best of luck if you're going for his weapon. It's very strong on him. Not sure if it will be good for future characters. If you have this 4-star like me, I think I have this at R3. And if I get him, this will be the weapon that I will keep on him for a very long time. But other than that, we early on in the game, you shouldn't really be focusing on the artifacts. Well, relics is mostly character level, light cone or weapon level, and talents. When you meet all of those requirements, then you can slave behind the grind. But yeah, that's why I think he will be good without his weapon. He will be very, very strong with his weapon, as it should be. So correct me if I got anything wrong in the comments down below. Leave it to us down below too. What you think about Jing Yuan, his weapon, and his other weapons that he could use. Hit the like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Stars shining really, moon visions in my sight, landing nowhere with the sight. Had to take her with me, she was tasty to my sight, so I had a couple bites. I'm offended, there's no violence in my way.